Spring is in the air. There's nothing a monkey likes more than to spring in the air. To keep his lobby orderly, Hunley always kept a close eye on George.
Come on, George.
I wish I had your energy, George.
Just watching George made Hunley tired.
Hello, Professor Wiseman.
Hi. What do you have, George? Your favorite kind of dinosaur? Oh, that's your favorite. But they're the same. Those are the bones that would be inside that. You know, same as the bones in you. Feel your arm. The hard part? That's bone. It's your skeleton.
Now that he knew he had one of those under his face, George had to see the T-Rex skull up close.
George, don't. It isn't safe. Oh. Are you okay?
George always wanted to ride in an ambulance, but he couldn't really enjoy it. At the hospital, Dr. Baker decided they needed to see George's leg bone by taking an X-ray.
Well, that's a small break. We have to put your leg in a cast. Now, this cast will keep your leg from moving while the bone heals.
Hey, that looks like George.
Hunley knew what to do when he heard that name. He got ready to defend the dignity of his lobby.
Poor little guy. Is he all right?
Oh, yeah, but he's gonna be out of action for weeks.
No jumping. No noise. Hunley wasn't so sure this was George.
Well, hello. You have a visitor, George.
It was George, all right. No one else in the building smelled like that.
Hello? Hunley come up here?
Yeah, we're in George's room.
You know, in the lobby, Hunley pays more attention to George than anyone. That's friendship. Hunley could keep George company when you go to work. I'd excuse him from his lobby duties.
George, would you like Hunley to be your monkey sitter?
George was conducting an important experiment, testing the bounce factor of the living room furniture. This part of the couch made a different sound. that wasn't the couch. It sounded big. It sounded heavy. And it came from up there.
You must have heard our new neighbor walking around. He moved in last week.
What George had heard seemed heavier than footsteps.
What are you doing? George, you must have heard our neighbor walking. That's all it could be. It's not like he's got some wild animal up there.
The man with the yellow hat lived with George, so why couldn't the new neighbor live with an animal? But what kind? Of course, the new neighbor had brought home an elephant. The man with the yellow hat had to hear this.
George? You dreamt about an elephant? No more nature books before you go to sleep, George. They're obviously giving you strange dreams. This is better bedtime reading. The Happy Sleepy Monkey. Good night.
This new sound certainly wasn't an elephant walking around. It was an elephant that was doing what?
Oh, boy, I didn't sleep at all last night.
George never realized there were so many sounds in the world. He'd never listened hard enough. That was the balcony to the apartment upstairs, where the new neighbor lived, with his elephant. Summer afternoon. The perfect time for a game of Find the Pigeon.
Okay, George, playtime's over. Time to clean your room. You can play with Compass after you clean your room. Bath time, George. I don't think you'll fit in the bird bath, George. You're definitely a tub monkey. Okay, time to brush your teeth and hit the sack, George.
Even though being a monkey was the greatest thing ever, pigeons didn't have to do what anybody told them.
George, time to clean your room, take a bath, wash your ears, brush your teeth, go to bed, wake up, make yourself breakfast. George!
So the next morning, George made up his mind to live like a pigeon. It turned out that birds had special pecking equipment. Keeping up with pigeons was hard work if you didn't come with wings. Plus, pigeons didn't have to wait for the don't walk light. George had lost his flock. To be a pigeon, you had to fly. Being a cat looked like a lot less work than being a pigeon. Now, this was the life. And no one made Gnocchi clean her room. Plus, cats took a bath wherever they wanted. Whenever they wanted. A cat bath was okay. If you didn't mind a hairy mouth and a spitty face. Maybe being a cat wasn't for George either. Here were lots of animals who didn't have to clean their rooms or brush their teeth. Surely George could find one he could be. Like a chameleon. They could change color effortlessly. Monkeys couldn't. Fish never had to stop playing to take a bath. But George wasn't good enough at holding his breath to be a fish for very long. Friday afternoon, a perfect time for a trip. Bottles and newspapers went to the basement. But some things had to be taken to the recycling center.
Hey, looks like you could use a hand. Or maybe another foot. I'm guessing you're going the same way I am. I have to pick up a package for Betsy. The recycling center's right next door. Stick it all in Betsy's wagon. I'll give you a lift. It's gonna be easier pushing you downhill. Uh-oh! George, are you okay? The wheel! I'll get it! Boy, rolled a long way. I bet you could get it to roll from here to the other end of the park if you wanted. Might even set some sort of wheel rolling record. Say, what do you think? For the record? It's really going. It's gone. Hurry, after it! You go that way. I got it. Where could it be? Oh my gosh! The package place will be closing soon. Come on, we'll find the wheel later. Kick. This isn't so bad, as long as we keep the weight. Kick. Over the back wheels and you keep kick. Kicking the other wheel back in, we'll be there in... Hey, we're here! With time to spare. Our problems are over. Oh, this is gonna be a problem. Good idea, George. Let's take your stuff to the recycling center. Then we'll have room in the wagon. Hey, what are you doing, George? That won't work.
All winter, George loved playing with Chef Biscotti's mobile. But when winter was over...
It's spring now, Giorgio. Time to take this down.
Springtime seemed like a bad excuse to get rid of something fun. So why not make a new spring mobile? What's more spring-like than fresh fruit? George thought his mobile had everything a mobile needs. Had he forgotten something?
Balance. That's what you need. Like this.
Great!
That was something. For our next demonstration of perfect balance, we need a volunteer from the audience.
Save it for the show, Claire. She means we can fix that.
Ta-da!
George wondered who were these incredible fruit balancers.
Zucchinis!
Piscati!
Giorgio, these are my friends, the famous zucchinis.
We came by to order food for our rehearsal. Our show is tonight.
Molto bene. I'm gonna deliver it myself.
Thanks! Ciao!
When he woke up that morning, George had never heard of them. But now, all he wanted was to be an amazing balancing zucchini. Being a cat, Gnocchi didn't see what was so tough about balancing. But George needed to see how the zucchinis did it.
You want to deliver this to the zucchinis for me? Aha. Maybe you like to see them again, because you want to be a zucchini, eh? Oh, I know. Because, Giorgio, I too dreamed that I could be an amazing zucchini. Follow your dream, Giorgio. But hurry up before the pizza get cold.
Steve, come on! Work with me here!
Aw, give it up, Betsy. You're too small to move a big brother like me.
Hi, George!
Hey, what do you got there? Smells good. Hey, what happened?
You moved closer, and now it's like we weigh the same. Thanks, George. Food! Sustenance! That which gives us the strength to perform our amazing feats! I think he wants to join us.
It was one of those country mornings when George would have slept late, if a strange sound didn't wake him up. On a windy day, the country house windows were almost musical. As good as the wind sounded, it felt even better. Smelled good, too. There had to be lots of things a clever monkey could fly out his window, like heavy winter socks. Birds he drew. His lucky brick. And there was even better stuff downstairs.
What's the excitement, George? Yeah, it's a great day to play in the wind. I'll get the door for you. George, if you're wondering how a big yellow hat would fly, you know the rule, buddy. No one is allowed to play with the yellow hat. Have fun. Clean up after yourself. And don't blow away.
George couldn't decide what he'd fly first. And then he didn't have to. Jumpy Squirrel tries hard to spend all his time in trees, leaping about. But when it's time to eat, he has to go where the nuts are buried.
Hey, George! Perfect kite flying weather, huh? Oh, careful. I'll lose control. Flying a kite's all about control. Oh, this is a lazy Susan.
He didn't know what a kite was when he woke up that morning. But there was nothing in the world George wanted more than to fly a kite.
Sorry, I can't turn over control to an inexperienced city kid. This isn't as easy as I make it look. I studied the Beaufort wind scale for 3 years. I never make mistakes. Rats! That's never coming down. Whew, for a city kid, you sure can climb a tree. Not a scratch. Thanks, George. As a reward, I'll let you fly her.
It was a perfect day for sitting on the balcony, drawing birds, eating grapes, and drinking juice. George had seen a lot of birds, but none wearing one of those. Bird had seen a lot of animals, but none doing that. He wasn't going anywhere till he figured out what kind of animal George was.
George, be careful out there. An artist's life is full of hard knocks. Hey, that's your best bird yet. Oh, the tag? Yeah, that means it's a homing pigeon. Well, they're special birds that always return home. Hold on. Just because he came back here doesn't make this his home. Homing pigeons have special homes. Ah, that's the pizza. Wash up. Did I leave that open? We don't want that pigeon getting in here. Did you wash those hands? Shh. Wash them good. Yesterday you passed me the butter and it had grass on it. George? Oh, you want privacy. Now, where is that pizza cutter? Whoa! I was afraid he'd sneak in. Okay, you open the door. I'll catch him. George, he needs to go home. This just isn't a good home for pigeons.
If that's how it had to be, then George would turn their home into a good home for pigeons. This called for research. The pigeon made his choice. George is always a good monkey when he's asleep. But no monkey wants to sleep through Saturday. This was a Saturday that cried out for something special.
You know what this morning's crying out for?
Huh?
Donuts! Hold on! I have to get dressed. I can't go out like this. All right, I'm going.
You don't know impatient until you've been a monkey waiting for a donut.
How about eggs with those donuts? Hey, count the eggs and write down how many we have. Ready. So how many eggs do we have? There are no eggs. Well, why didn't you write 0? Oh, you don't know. I thought I was teaching you everything, and I forgot nothing. George, no time like the present to learn. You see, 0 alone means no eggs. None at all. But 0 with other numbers makes them mean a lot more. See, if we write a 0 after 1, that's 10. Write another 0, that's 100. That's 1,000. 10,000. Hey, nice zeros, you've got it. Whoa! Morning. I'll go in here and buy eggs while you get the donuts, okay? 1 dozen donuts, please. We'll meet back home. And be a good little monkey.
Someone on a donut mission can't stop and play. Dogs don't understand. George was really hungry, but his order only had a measly 1 on it. Then he remembered what the man with the yellow hat had told him about zeros.
George, Chalky, good to see ya. Oh, is that an order for your friend with the yellow hat? 100 dozen? Oh, our biggest order ever! Oh, he must be having a giant donut party.
George realized what his zeros had done. But try explaining that to a dog.
Okay, now, where did I leave that piece of paper? I misread the order. It's 1,000 dozen. Oh, this is the biggest day in the entire history of donuts. We'll have to have more donuts flown in from other towns.
It was a perfect day for boating. Anyone with a boat, or even without, was floating on the river. George had never seen so many different boats in his life. And then he saw a boat that wasn't like any he'd ever seen before. A boat full of cars.
Oh, that's a ferry boat. It carries people in cars across the river.
George loved cars. But cars and boats together, it was the apple pie and ice cream of transportation.
Ahoy! Today's our annual model boat show. Big prizes for little boats.
George! Over here! What do you think of her, George? Sailors call boats her. I bet a city kid like you never knew that.
Yeah. You made that, Bill?
Yes, sir.
Well, that is pretty impressive, isn't it, George?
Oh, thanks. But it's nothing compared to Mr. Quint's model whaling boat. That's it over there.
Draw the nets, laddies. Aye, aye, Captain.
And over there is Mrs. Rankin's Ark. And look at all those over there. It's some pretty tough competition this year.
Now, don't underestimate yourself, Bill. That is one fine-looking boat. Good luck. Oh, sure, you can stay with Bill. I'll set you up right here. Okay, I'll be over at the bleachers saving up some seats and sizing up Bill's competition.
I'd sure like to win a ribbon, George. To buy this kit, I had to save 9 weeks of money for my paper route. Oh, I almost forgot to do my paper route. Could you do me a big favor and watch my boat while I'm gone? See you soon.
George knew boat watching was serious business. There were a lot of nice boats here, but not one person had built the greatest boat. A ferry boat. Maybe he could build one. Commanding a ferry had been George's lifelong dream, ever since he first heard of them, earlier that morning. Luckily, Bill's boat looked good as new. Maybe he just put it down the wrong way.
Hey, George, how's it going? I'll be back after I deliver the rest of these papers. Thanks for taking good care of my boat.
George couldn't figure out what he'd done to it. It looked perfect. But he knew one thing.
No!
Bill couldn't enter the contest with this boat. George had to build him a new one, and fast. Unfortunately, George had no idea how to do that.
I know those knocks. Come on in, guys.
Wow, what's that?
My hobby, working on complex things, relaxes me.
Have you ever seen such a beautiful clock, George?
If you like it now, watch what happens every hour. So, what do you think?
Very impressive.
I'm glad you liked it, George.
Oh, we should go. The rocket presentation is starting soon.
Are you coming with us, George? Or do you want to stay here and watch the clock?
Well, if it's okay with Professor Wiseman, it's okay with me.
Now, if you want to see the little people play again, move the minute hand once around to 12. Have fun.
How long does it take to build a clock like that?
Oh, about 3 years.
Oh, that reminds me. I'll be right back. George, be a good little monkey. Exactly.
George wanted to see the little people again. That looked like George's friend, Compass, the almost homing pigeon. Because when all the other homing pigeons homed in on the statue, he almost made it. It was Compass, all right. George was happy to see his friend the pigeon. And Compass was happy to see his friend the... Well, whatever George was. George wanted Compass to see Professor Wiseman's clock in action. He couldn't fix the minute hand, and that's what made the little people play. He knew they were in there somewhere. George remembered there was another way into the clock. The back. When you take something apart, it's a good idea to pay attention to what went where. It was a perfect day to just walk down the street smelling. So, that's what George did. George's nose took him to all the best smells. Then he reached Monkey Nose Heaven.
Hello, George. It smells better back here, you know.
George couldn't believe all those different, plain-smelling things could become an amazing donut. George was wondering what kind of magic donut makers knew when his ears got in the way of his nose. George's friend Gnocchi was locked in combat with her arch-enemy, the extra-large, cutesy Bo. George didn't understand Tabby, but he listened politely. Gnocchi was thrilled to be free from looking cute. George was officially a cat hero. George almost forgot he was smelling today. Then, Chef Pischetti's kitchen grabbed his nose. Chef Pischetti's kitchen was like a nose circus.
Gnocchi, il mio gatto dolce. You've lost your pretty ribbon. Come see, come see. Ba-ba-doo-ba-doo. There. Now she's cute. Welcome, Giorgio. How is your friend Capello Giallo Grande? Oh, I can't play. I'm making a very special meal for famous restaurant critic Sally Tessio. When she likes a place, business booms. So it's very important that everything be perfect. She has the delicate taste.
You said there'd be fresh bread. I don't see any bread here.
Well, her taste is delicate, but her voice, not so much.
This hard stuff was spaghetti? Didn't smell like anything. George wanted to replace his broken piece. He'd seen the chef put the rest of it in the pot. It didn't smell like much, and the steam coming out was hot. George had to be careful.
It had changed. Maybe it wasn't just donut makers. Maybe all kitchens were magic. Here was a pot that turned crisp things into floppy things. What else could it turn floppy? A soft, floppy egg. That'd be funny. Good candidate for floppification.
Hunley, the doorman's dachshund, loved his lobby to be clean and organized, just like him.
Good morning, Hunley. Don't you look very shiny and sleek today?
Being long and low made him an excellent finder of lost things.
My keys! Thank you, Hundley.
Dante says thank you, Hunley.
Having sharp hearing made him an excellent squeak detector.
Good ears, Hundley. A doorman's door must look and sound perfect at all times. And his uniform must be spotless.
But Hunley felt his most important job was to protect the place from George, the absolute opposite of all that is organized and neat.
Package for 217.
Let's go, Hundley. 217. Oh, no! I'm out of uniform. Delivery, I rush right up.
Right on time. I buy and sell autographed balls. Very expensive. This one's Freddy Frikikio. I have a lot more balls coming today. Valuable collector's items.
Don't worry. Hundley and I'll make sure they're safe. Out of uniform. Ugh. A doorman's uniform is as important as his door. What's wrong, Hundley? Careful! That's full of oil. Oh, no! This is my last clean shirt. A doorman must be spotless. I have to go to the dry cleaners. I won't be long. You're in charge, Hundley.
Hunley knew the first order of business. Watch George. George never realized how much he liked the doorman's uniform. Hunley had never gotten a salute before. He must have been doing an exceptionally good job.
A doorman's uniform is as important as his door.
Hunley had to get that monkey out of uniform. But he still had a job to do.
I see you have a new partner, Hunley. You're both so handsome.
Time is of the essence. How quickly can you clean an oil stain?
An oil stain about this size?
An oil stain exactly that size. That exact oil stain.
I have no idea until I try.
Then try. I can wait because I know Hundley will keep the lobby in perfect order.
Hundley tried to get the coat off George. Which is how he found out George was ticklish.